Hi guys, I'm Angela from Dream Admissions, and if you're somebody that is interested in studying abroad, specifically in Malaysia, in this video I'm going to answer all the frequently asked questions as well as give you all the information that you need from the start of the process to the end of the process of you coming here to study in Malaysia with the help of Dream Admissions. So before we begin, I'd like to highlight there are 5 sections to this video. The first one being why Malaysia, where I'm going to explain to you why Malaysia is a location that you should consider when you're looking at options for studying abroad. The second is why Dream Admissions. This is where I'm going to highlight how we can assist you in achieving your goals of studying in a world-class university, specifically here in Malaysia. The third section is education. This is where I'm going to give you all the information where we have the schools, the courses, what they might need, the qualifications that they might need, and just general information about the education system this side. The fourth category is going to be lifestyle and living. So this gives you all the juice on how much you're probably going to need and how much the average person spends here, what the average person does on a more social level, because, you're not just here for school. And the last category is application. So this is where I'm going to take you step by step on the full process on how you can actually get here. So this is from application to submission of documents to choosing your accommodation all the way until you reach here, again, with the help of Dream Admissions. Okay, so why Malaysia? Why is this a country that you should consider coming to study in? I will start off by talking about my personal experience and how I ended up in Malaysia. So initially, when I had graduated high school, coming from Malawi, which is a third world country in Southern Africa, when I had graduated, I wanted something that was very different from home. I wanted to go to a big city and live, the big city, fast kind of life. And my initial options were some countries in Europe, I had Australia, I had the USA, but as we all know, these are very expensive options, especially with the way the world is going now. So when I had done my research, I ended up settling on Malaysia because a lot of people don't know this, but it really gives you the technologically advanced, big city, just big international space vibes for a very low cost as compared to all these other options. Aside from all the benefit that you are going to receive from the low cost of living, Malaysia is actually a secular Muslim country. This means that while it is predominantly Islam and that is the main religion, everybody still has freedom to believe and do whatever it is that they have to do. It's not as strict as other countries, for example, in the Gulf, where they're Muslim and you will have to follow or adhere to all those rules. So if you are of somebody who is not in Islam, it's not something that I think you should worry about because there are plenty of churches and all other religions that are available here. Because Malaysia is secular Muslim, on top of regular law enforcement, which in my opinion is pretty good, we have the Islamic police as well. So safety is really not something that we worry about here. It's a very safe place to be. As an African woman specifically, there's never really been times when I felt super unsafe or anything like that. It's a very safe country. Aside from the safety that I do experience here in Malaysia, it is also a very culturally rich experience. Malaysia itself is made up of 3 ethnic groups. So we have the Chinese Malays, and the Indian Malaysians. And this in itself makes the country very diverse before the rest of us even come in. When you come to study here, you will most likely be in the capital city, Kuala Lumpur, and it is a very international space. I find myself meeting people from different walks of life from all around the world all the time, and the connections I've been making are really meaningful and important if you're into that kind of thing. All right, now back to the fact that Malaysia is made up of 3 ethnic groups. This means that from all 3 ethnic groups, we are celebrating all of their holidays and all of their traditions. So it's a very interesting space to be in. You will learn a lot about different cultures, and it's also really fun, not gonna lie, because you will be celebrating, for example, all 3 ethnic groups as holidays. So throughout the year, you will have, on average, you're gonna have Chinese New Year, which is in February, and then you're gonna have National Day, which is around August. You're gonna have Eid if you celebrate. If you don't either, they make you feel as if you're a part of it. It's actually quite beautiful. And you will just be able to experience a lot. The food is very diverse, everything that you can think of. The music, the events, it's a very diverse space to be in. And there's a lot to do, a lot of people to meet. You won't get bored. All right, so let's get into the education aspect of things. There is a various number of university options that we offer that you can choose from, depending on things like your budget or the type of courses that you're looking for. There's a good number of options. The first one being Asia Pacific University of Innovation and Technology. That is actually the school that I go to. I am studying digital marketing, and APU is known for its technological advances. It's known as the top leading university when it comes to technology in Malaysia as well as in Southeast Asia, and is also known on a global scale. Next, we have Taylor's University, which is actually the most reputable and oldest private university here in Malaysia, founded in the 1960s. It is ranked very highly, has a beautiful lakeside campus, and has a lot of links in different industries as well as partnering institutions from all around the world. And then we have UCSI University, which has been established since the 1980s, so it's very well known. And alongside Asia Pacific University is known for its very diverse student body, which is made up from individuals across over 130 nationalities. Aside from that, it actually has a very high global ranking and a very wide range of courses that you can study. They offer everything from liberal arts to medicine to engineering. You can probably find it all at UCSI. And we have NT International University, which actually has multiple campuses across Malaysia. And because of this, they offer a wide range of courses, and there's a lot of faculties that you can go into. This leads to NT having a very large alumni base, which is very good because while you're studying or after you study, you can possibly connect with other alumni and have a very strong base or corporate ladder that is sort of handed to you if you attend NT. And all these campuses are actually equipped with modern amenities and equipment, and it's a very nice place to be, honestly. And by the way, guys, these universities that I've highlighted are only the very few of the large array that we do have. If there's a specific university that you're thinking of in Malaysia that you'd like to apply to, you're still welcome to contact us. Now, let's get into the courses. What you actually want to study. Can you study it here in Malaysia? The simple answer is yes. Malaysia, having the large amount of universities that it does and the large amount of faculties in these universities means that you have a very large option of courses that you can study. Whatever you're thinking, we probably have it, as well as other options that you might have not even known about. So I will be showing most of the courses, the general courses that most of the universities provide over here, as well as the specific ones from specific universities. All right, so let's get into one of the most common questions that we are asked by students from all over the world. Can I get a scholarship to study in Malaysia? The simple and honest answer is that it's not very common, and while you might find a scholarship, it might not even be a full scholarship to cover your full tuition or living expenses. That being said, how much does it actually cost to study here? For all the universities, the range would be from around $4,500 to $20,000, even though I would say the average is around $7,000 to $10,000 per year for most courses in most universities. That being said, if financial aid and scholarships is something that you are absolutely looking for, I will say that we at Dream Admissions have a lot of options that can go up to even 100% scholarships, but it just might not necessarily be in Malaysia. If that's what you're looking for, hit us up and we will give you options for study abroad in other countries that will offer you the financial aid that you're looking for. Something else on Malaysia's education that I found very interesting is that most international universities are partnered up with other countries, namely mostly the UK. So when you do come to these universities, you have the option to have a dual degree. For example, I'm doing a dual degree at Asia Pacific University. So aside from my certificate that I'm going to get from Asia Pacific University, I'm going to get one from De Montfort University in the UK as well. So I'll have dual education. And most international unis do this, namely Asia Pacific University does this. We have Nottingham Trent University, which is directly connected to the Nottingham in the UK, as well as Taylor's and all these other universities. It's something that they do. And what this does is you are learning, like for example, I am learning the same things that my peers in De Montfort are learning. So the education standard is at a very high level, or at a level that can be compared to all these other big Western countries and education systems. All right, so now let's talk about lifestyle and living, which is where I'm going to give you all the information that you need about living as a fully functional person here in Malaysia. Starting with one of the most important points, accommodation. Now, while you may choose to stay on campus with your university when you're coming to Malaysia, I have found that campus accommodation is slightly more expensive when you compare it to off-campus accommodation. That being said, I did spend my first year in Malaysia on campus accommodation, and I found it really good because it was convenient. I had everything around me, all my classes, all my facilities, as well as people very close by who I could ask in case I had any questions or any issues. That being said, I do prefer living off campus because when I finally did move off campus, I had, for example, the freedom to choose who I wanted to live with. So I chose to move in with my friends, as well as choose the type of place that you want to live in. Because while campus accommodation is convenient, you have very limited options. Off campus, you can find whatever you want to look for. You can find studios, you can find 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom apartments. You could just find a specific room if you like, and you have a lot of options and a lot of different price ranges. Most websites that you can use to look for these things are Property Guru, iProperty, and Speed Home. Those are the three main ones, but there are others that you can use as well. Now, about the cost of this accommodation, this honestly highly depends on what school you choose to go to and also what kind of lifestyle that you want to live. Because some schools are more nearer to the center, to the city center, so accommodation that side will be more expensive. Others are in a bit of the outskirts of the city, so it will be cheaper. But I will say on average, campus accommodation will usually cost around 1,000 ringgit to around 2,500 ringgit, dependent on the school, and that is per month, dependent on the school and the type of accommodation. But off-campus accommodation can be as little as 600 ringgit for a small room if you want to just rent a room, up until, yeah, it can go as high as you want, depending on what you want. The average apartment will cost around 1,500 to 2,500 ringgit, which is, I would say, maybe a 3-bedroom apartment. And then if it's a 4-bedroom, slightly higher than that. But if you want to stay in the more high-end places, it could go up to 4,000 ringgit for a 3-bedroom apartment. It really just depends on what exactly you are looking for. Okay, so now let's talk about food. What to eat, how much does it cost to eat in a month, and everything. If you're someone that buys groceries and cooks all their meals the whole month, I would say groceries range from anywhere between $50 to $150 in a month. Depending on your lifestyle, the type of groceries that you buy, the type of food that you cook, it will be anywhere in that range, but for as low as $50, you can have enough groceries to last you the entirety of the month. Now, if you're somebody that does not buy groceries and buys all the meals that they eat, I would say the average meal costs around $2 to $10 per meal, depending on what you like or where you get the food. You can either get it in person, there's restaurants everywhere, or you can get them online on apps such as Grab and Food Panda, which are the most common for food delivery and taxis as well. Or you can have on your campus accommodations, all the campuses have cafeterias, and so on and so forth. Now on where people go, what people do. The Malaysian transportation system has both trains and buses that are government owned, and they're very easy to navigate, and they reach most parts of the city. If not, you can probably get a taxi, which is metered, so depending on the distance will be dependent on the price, or you can get a Grab, which is what we call, some people would say, Ubers or paid for cars that you order on the phone. So on the phone you have a few apps that you can use, such as Grab, InDrive, AirAsia, Bolt. All these are taxi apps. All right, so let's get into what people actually do and what type of social activities or social outings that you will be involved in when you're here. So the simple answer is that there's everything for everybody. And Malaysia is very big and diverse, and so are all the activities that you can do. So if you're someone who likes to cafe hop and go to a lot of cafes and go out to eat with friends, there's a lot that you can do there. If you're somebody that's an adrenaline junkie, there's a lot of cities that are nearby, less than an hour away, where you can go for ATVs, parasailing, skydiving, and go through mountains and all these things. Like, you can really do whatever you want. It really just depends on the type of person that you are. On top of all of that, all universities, especially the ones that accept international students, make it a point to always have something going on. For example, on my campus, there's always something going on during the week. There's always a bunch of booths, a bunch of stalls, a bunch of events. It's meant for you to socialize and be a part of different communities. And it's very easy to do that. It's very easy to join communities and find like-minded people from you. And then from there, you take each other and do whatever it is that you like to do. Malaysia has tropical weather, meaning it's hot all year long, meaning whatever activities that you can think of doing outside in the sun, you can probably do all year long. That being said, Malaysians also have a lot of emphasis on the benefits of health and things like those. So it's like there's always a fitness event happening somewhere. And in fact, every apartment building, every place that you will live at will probably at the very least have a gym, a sauna, a pool, because they're very big advocacies on physical activity and physical health. Okay, so all of that being said, how much does it cost per month in full in total for someone to live in Malaysia? I would suggest 400 maybe the lowest, and then anything above that, dependent on your lifestyle, you will be able to make do with that. Okay, so now that I've given you all the information about studying here and living here, let's talk about how to actually get here. Now, why Dream Admissions? Why should we assist you in your journey of studying abroad? The most simple answer to that question is that most students, when they're applying organically, might meet some challenges and issues with the schools, mostly with the application process. Sometimes people don't understand the exact qualifications that are needed or the exact documents or the way they want you to present this information. And there's been cases when people have been rejected or not been contacted back by universities because their information was wrong and they didn't even know that the information was wrong. So how do you solve this problem? When you work with Dream Admissions, we are already in direct partnership with these universities. So we fully understand everything that they need, their requirements, and we will be able to relay that to you, and we will do 100% of the work. All you have to do is send in your documents when we need them, and we will take care of everything else. That's the benefit of working with us. Now, being in direct partnerships with these schools, we are fully aware of everything that they're looking for. And when you start an application with us, you should know that you will 100% get your offer letter and eventually start your visa process and come to Malaysia, because every application that we make is 100% accepted. So we guide you from start to finish, making sure your documents are adequate and also correctly formatted. And then we also guide you through the visa process, where we have you send in very specific documents that they might need, and we will coordinate with the school throughout your entire visa process until you get it, as well as everything down to an airport pickup when you arrive from the airport to your accommodation. Once you start your application with us, you're assured that you're going to get your offer letter within a week. And after that is when you start the other processes such as visa. And on top of all that, guys, the cherry on top is that it is absolutely 0% risk for you, because it is free of charge on your end. You don't have to pay us anything. We will do the whole entire process 100%.